وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. سبحانك لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك. أنت المقدم وأنت المؤخر وأنت على كل شيء قدير. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. In the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most compassionate, the most merciful, all praise and thanks are due to him, and peace and blessings be upon his beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He who is guided by the will of Allah, no one can misguide him, and he who is misguided, no one can guide him except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We do bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. Mumtaz, Jazakallah khairan. This is the best thing you do. Yes. Barakallah fikum. طيب, session number 29 today. Alhamdulillah. Today we will talk about the journey of AlTaif. It's a very unique journey, and it contains a lot of very, very important lessons in the context of, a Seerah. Now, I will be reading and I will tell you the following now. The journey of AlTaif, we have two narrations about it. One of them is narrated by Al-Imam Al-Bukhari, which Aisha radiallahu anha, Aisha is the narrator, and the one who put it in his book from the highest authentic is according to the Bukhari. And we have another narration which is less in the degree. Now I need to tell you the following now. When we say narrated by Bukhari, then we say narrated by Muslim, then we say narrated by Abu Dawood, or narrated by An-Nasa'i or Ibn Majah. You have here maybe or something we call it Al-Kutub Al-Sitta, for example, okay? Kutub Al-Sunan or Kutub Al-Sihah, Sahih Ibn Hibban, Sahih Al-Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, Sunan Al-Tirmidhi, Sunan Abi Dawood. Not all of you are specialists to know what does this mean. Let me tell you the following, please. Now, when we say the narration is sahih, and we have another narrations less in sahih, or there is dispute about sahih, some people they might think it's acceptable and non-acceptable. No, it's not the case. I will give you a simple example. What do I mean by this? To make it the philosophy of the ahadith. Now, the degree of the hadith, how powerful, how authentic it is, it starts from 100%, 99, 97, 96, 95, 90, 89, percent. All of them, they are acceptable. We have highest degree of sahih. We have less the highest degree of sahih. We have medium degree of sahih. So when we say Sahih al-Bukhari, it's the highest degree. The fact that someone else narrated and it is sahih but not al-Bukhari does not mean compared with Bukhari it's nothing. No. However, Bukhari decided to collect the top of the top of the top of the top. This does not mean there is no other tops. Are you with me? I will give you a simple example from our daily life. It could be a funny example, but I think it will relate easily to all of you. Let's imagine now we are the CSIS, Canadian Intelligence Forces, and we want to defend the national security of Canada. So we want to employ people. Is it something clear so far? Type. We put conditions for the people who deserve to be entitled to work with us. One of them to be Canadians. So let's now subtitle, who is the Canadian? Are you with me? Now, a Canadian is the one who was born in Canada. The Canadian whose fathers came as immigrants, then they obtained for example, the nationality. He is the one who worked for such and such. All of them, they became what? Canadians, in theory. But in the intelligence forces, do they accept all of them in one degree to be in the highest positions in the security forces? It's impossible. Are you with me? It has to do with loyalty. It has to do with authenticity. It has to do with trust. For example, let's be frank, I'll give you a practical example. A Russian citizen who has been a Canadian just 10 months, in theory, on paper, he's holding what? Citizenship. He's a Russian. To the politics that you know, what is the possibility that he will be accepted as a high-ranked officer in the Canadian intelligence forces? I'm asking, seriously, this is a practical, realistic example to understand what used to happen at the time of the Bukhari. Just to relate to the idea. What is the possibility? Huh? Nearly zero. Maybe 1%, maybe 2%. True or false? Type. A Canadian from Chinese origins who has obtained the nationality 2 years ago. His two parents were immigrants 15 years ago. The possibility compared with the Russian who obtained the nationality 10 months ago. Higher or equal or less? Higher. Right. Indian origin, has been a Canadian since 15 years. His parents immigrated to this country 60 years ago. Higher, equal, less, more? Higher. The white Anglo-Saxon European immigrants, his parents immigrated to this country 200 years ago. I'm asking. What is the possibility for him to be accepted as an officer in the security forces of Canada? Higher, equal, less? Higher. This has to do with what? Loyalty. Authenticity. Trust. I'm not discussing this right or wrong. I'm giving you an idea how people think, depending on their national security. You can't blame them. This is how things. Now, if you want to apply it to Saudi Arabia, the same thing. If you are working in Saudi Arabia since 500 years, you are working 500 years in Saudi Arabia. Do they allow you to be a minister there?
No.
Why are you laughing? I'm not saying politics. I think
You will not be a citizen.
Yes, because you are not a citizen. If you became a citizen because you became a friend for one of the royal family, but you are from Palestinian or Jordanian origins, what's the possibility to be, for example, whatever? Almost zero. I mean, this is not special for Canadians. Wherever you go, this is the same thing in America, the same thing. I'm just paying your attention. I want you to understand when I say Sahih in Bukhari, and we have less Sahih in Ibn Majah, don't let something come to your mind that the fact it's in al-Bukhari, the others is something, khalas, that forget it. No. Still, we have high authentic, however, we have degrees. More or less as if. Now, by the way, at the end, in the National Security Forces of Canada, you will find all of these people, but not all of them will have the highest rank. True or false? Yes, for many reasons. The same thing in the Islamic way, we have something called, the ways how a hadith is accepted as authentic. We have three main big conditions. قال العدالة والحفظ والاتصال. This is main conditions. I'm just giving you an idea to understand when we say sahih, da'if, mutawatir, okay, hasan. What does this mean? Depending on what? We have three main areas. Adala. The adala means it's a big terminology. It contains how honest he is, his reputation, how trustworthy he is. Okay? This person, it has many ethical attributes if all of them is there, especially with his life, he is a person who is trustworthy, okay, and honest or not. Now, al-hifz, it has to do with the power of his memory, his age. For example, can we relate on someone in his, for example, 5 years old? He said, for example, when I was 4.5 years old, I remember my father, when he met Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, they were talking about the problem of al-jihad in something that, and he was just 4 years. Say no. A small child cannot bring these things from that age. Or for example, someone he was in 96 of his age and he started forgetting 90% of what he says. This has nothing to do with adala. It has to do with what? Hifz, which means the power and accuracy of the memorization. Then we have al-ittisal, which means has this person met that person in person or not? That's why we have something called mursal, munqata', okay? Something which means, for example, a tabi'i, when he says قال رسول الله, a tabi'i did not meet Rasulullah. When he says قال Rasulullah without mentioning who said it from the Sahaba, by default you will know that he has taken this from a Sahabi. But who is this Sahabi? When that person does not mention a Sahabi, they stop. They study his biography, his CV, his context. They discover that he was a very close, dedicated student, for example, for one of the Sahaba. And he used to say, قال Rasulullah, and it is known that he means he took it from Ibn Umar, he took it from Abu Bakr, he took it from whatever. They study another tabi'i, he used to hear it from some of the late Sahaba, he does not remember who are they, and they say, قال Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They study these things. Depending on that, highest level, low, medium, hasan, da'if. By the way, the word da'if does not mean it's a lie. There is a possibility that it was said by Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, but not very high. By the way, the lowest degree of da'if hadith is 100 times more powerful than anything in all the New Testament. Seriously, I'm speaking scientifically now. The lowest degree of da'if hadith is 10 times, 100 times, scientifically, academically, in our categories, is more powerful in terms of the authenticity than the Old and the New Testament. Because it depends on the science of narrations. It tells this person has done it, we have a problem. Then we have the mawdu', fabricated lie. Anyway, why I'm saying all this, now I will be mixing to you two narrations. One of them from the Bukhari, which has the highest level, then a lot of details in another Sahih with less level. Okay? So in that your mind to be mixed up, why this does not is Sahih, this is not Sahih, no. It's another level of Sahih, but less. But still, all in all, they are acceptable. Especially, we are narrating a historical event. We are not talking about haram and halal. By the way, the big difference, we needed to know these differences when the hadith that we are using has to do with haram and halal. Haram and halal, you take a judgment against someone. You will make like a judgment, like a court, okay, which say he is doing haram, therefore you will judge him. So we need one of the highest level of Sahih, because it's not an easy thing, but the historical understanding, when you have normal level of Sahih, it's more powerful than any historical book on earth. Because others, they don't have the science of ilm al-rijal to know what is what and who is who and who said what to who. But we know. We know in a very accurate system. Is it clear? And by the way, it's not a lesson in ilm al-hadith, but I'm just giving you a taste. Just to know when I say highest level, low level, medium level, what could it mean in your mind, okay? Right. Now let's come to the narration of an Imam al-Bukhari. I will read it in Arabic, then I will go through it, line by line. Aisha radiallahu anha, she asked Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this is the narration of al-Bukhari now. قال هل أتى عليك يوم كان أشد من يوم أحد؟ Aisha, she used to ask Prophet Muhammad many things. She said, Ya Rasulullah, have you met more difficult day than the Yom of Uhud? Uhud? Battle of Uhud? It was really, really very difficult because, for a certain time, they were about to lose control of everything. And they thought that Prophet Muhammad was killed. And, because of this, they were, protecting, the back of the army. They thought that the battle is finished. They left their position. Then Khalid bin Walid radiallahu anhu at that time, he was the leader of the kuffar at that time. Then he came from behind the mountain and everything was upside down. And Prophet Muhammad was about to be killed. Actually, for a short time, it was spread that he was killed. And some of the Sahaba, he started just blaming themselves. Some of them, they lost control on themselves. Some of them, they said, okay, let you die as Prophet Muhammad. So till they discovered, and just a small number, they stayed just protecting him. This was very difficult. He was injured in many different places of his body. So Aisha is asking Prophet Muhammad, Ya Rasulullah, have you ever met more difficult day than Uhud? Which means from her point of view, she thought what? What is the peak of, was the most severe painful event from her point of view? Uhud. So she was wondering, she was very clever. Was anything more difficult than Uhud? Then he started telling her, yes, actually the incident of AlTaif. When this happened to him, she was not his wife at that time. Because it happened more or less around 9-10 of Al-Bi'tha, which means around 3 to 4 years before the Hijrah. Aisha became his wife after the Hijrah. So she did not witness that incident. So he said, قال لقد لقيت من قومك وكان أشد منهم يوم العقبة إذ عرضت نفسي على ابن عبد ليل. Now he mentioned a place next to AlTaif called Al-Aqaba. He said, when I exposed myself to such and such, he explained his name. قال فلم يجبني إلى ما أردت بل أغرى بي السفهاء وكشف سره لقريش فما نعته من العودة لمكة إلا بجوار رجل كافر اسمه المطعم بن عدي فانطلقت وأنا مهموم على وجهي فلم أستفق إلا بقرن الثعلب. Now the narration of Bukhari, he said, it was very brief. He said it was so difficult. I went to AlTaif for Ibn Abd Layl. They rejected me in a very tough way. They kicked me out. Then they made Quraysh aware that I was trying to connect with the people of AlTaif, which means, so they were very aggressive, Quraysh, to a degree that they prevented him from coming back to Mecca. I was in a very difficult situation, as if I lost my conscience. قال فاستفقت بقرن الثعالب, which means, it's like when you are walking, for example, if you made for example, like a light car accident. You did not injured, but you caused a lot of damage for someone, but alhamdulillah, no losses in lives. But you caused a lot of damage, the shock in your mind, you were thinking about the insurance, the money, what have I done, why, when. You don't feel in the time, okay? You don't know how many kilometers you were driving. You are out of time. This is the meaning. قال فلم أستفق إلا وأنا في قرن الثعالب, which means it was so difficult to me to a degree that I just found myself in an area called قرن الثعالب. قال فجاءني فرفعت رأسي فإذا أنا بسحابة قد أظلتني فنظرت فإذا فيها جبريل فناداني. Now he's talking about how Jibril alayhi salam came and he gave him a very special offer from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I will stop here. I will mix now the missed point from the other Sahih narration, which was not mentioned in Al-Bukhari. Look what happened. In the other narration, the details, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came in a very, very nice attitude, trying just to tell them about Islam. They had an idea. So the wicked people, the leaders of AlTaif, they prepared themselves very well, unfortunately, by preparing the very wicked, silly people. They brought the kids and the slaves and they gathered them in the streets, and they started stoning Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, with the stone. In the Arabic mentality, it's a big shame. Someone is coming to you as a guest. Actually, Arabs, in their culture, if someone came to you as a guest, even if you discover that he has already killed your son, you have no right in the culture to touch him because he's your guest. Can you imagine this? And you need to let him know that you want to fight him, you want to kill him, but you can't, just from the back do something to him. You can't. It's highly respectable. Plus, many people, they don't know that there is some kind of, kins and relations between some people of AlTaif and, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if I'm not mistaken, from his mother. Anyway, so it's Arabic ties, culture, respect, and he was there just to speak with them. So they decided to be very tough with him, and they pushed the slaves and the kids to stone Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They were kicked out, and to a degree he used to bleed. His body started bleeding because of, you can imagine how difficult it was. Can you imagine you've been stoned till you started bleeding? Which means really, really very difficult, very painful. Zayd bin Haritha, he was accompanying him, the Sahabi who used to be called Zayd bin Muhammad, then Zayd bin Haritha. Now, when they were kicked out, he came to the most important part of this journey. Or actually, we have two big things in this. He came to like a garden for two of the non-believers, and they had a servant, slave. His name is Abbas. Abbas was from Iraq, and he was a Christian. He was like a servant slave. So they felt, because he was bleeding, it was very difficult. He sat there and he made the very famous dua. And this dua, wallahi, I urge every one of you to memorize it and to use this dua. I will say the dua in Arabic. How many of you understand the Arabic language? Can you raise up your hands just to see the possibility of how many of you will understand in Arabic? Okay, now I will say it in Arabic, then I will give the spirit in English because I can't translate the dua exactly. It's really very difficult. Allah, bleeding, very difficult, psychologically, physically, tough. He has done nothing bad, yet he was kicked out. He said the following dua. قال اللهم إليك أشكو ضعف قوتي وقلة حيلتي وهواني على الناس أنت رب المستضعفين وأنت ربي إلى من تكلني إلى بعيد يتجهمني أم إلى عدو ملكته أمري إن لم يكن بك غضب علي فلا أبالي أعوذ بنور وجهك الذي أشرقت له الظلمات وصلح عليه أمر الدنيا والآخرة من أن ينزل بي غضبك أو يحل علي سخطك لك العتبى حتى ترضى ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بك. The core idea of the dua, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was feeling high pain. You could imagine that his dua should contain what? If you were him, what you will make in your dua? Seriously. What do you expect, brother? Yes, someone hurted me. I'm bleeding. They injured me. They insulted me. They cursed me without doing anything bad. Normally, I have a big power behind me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I'm doing dua. The normal reaction, Ya Rab, تنتقم منه. Oh Allah. Ya Allah, take my revenge. Ya Allah, take my rights. Ya Allah, punish them. This is the normal reaction that any of us will imagine. Prophet Muhammad's dua was revolving around one point. Ya Allah, are you angry from me? If I have done nothing wrong or bad and you are still satisfied with me, I don't care with anything else. Look now. He has been hurted by this group. He's bleeding, suffering. His focal point was, Ya Allah, is there anything bad from my side? If you still If I'm just maintaining the good relation with you, I don't care with anyone else. So his focus was, am I committing any kind of whatever? Am I falling in short? Ya Allah, إِن لَمْ يَكُنْ بِكَ غَضَبٌ عَلَيْهِ فَلَا أُبَالِي. If you are not angry from me, simply I don't care. He was not talking about them. Now, the very interesting, strange thing, after this happened, he moved till he reached to the area of Qarn al-Tha'alib. Now, when he reached there, I will come back now to Al-Bukhari. Allah sent to him Jibreel alayhi salam with the angel of mountains. You know who's Jibreel? Jibreel is the archangel of the angels. Za'im al-Malaika. He's the boss of the angels. وهو أمين الوحي. What does it mean, أمين الوحي? جزاكم الله خير. He is the one that was chosen by Allah and entrusted to convey the revelation of Allah to all prophets and messengers. So Jibreel is not any angel. Aminul Wahi, the head, the top. He was sent to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and he said the salam for him. Ya Rasulullah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent me to you and he commanded the angel of mountains. We understand from this that Allah is giving like missions for the angels to do some certain things. How come we don't see? Yes, what to do? Many things we don't see. Who told you that you need to see till you believe? I mean, it's another story. We highlighted this many times. He sent with him the angel of mountains. Then he said, Assalamu alaikum ya Rasulullah. قال إن الله بعثني وأمرني أن أأتمر بأمرك فلو شئت يا محمد لأطبقت لك عليهم الأخشبين. This is in Bukhari. Look, the angel of... I need you to imagine this. I need you to picture this. I need you to try to imagine as if you were the person. Look, the angel of mountains was sent by Allah and he was given the power to give an open check for Prophet Muhammad. Fill the number you want. He said, oh, the messenger of Allah, Allah has sent me and he commanded me to be under your commandments. And he gave him a suggestion. قال فلو شئت لأطبقت لك عليهم الأخشبين. He was talking about the people of Mecca, not AlTaif بالمناسبة. Because his suffering, basically, the root cause of his suffering is what? People of Mecca. Mushriki Quraysh. Because, he was trying to find another way of da'wah. He said, O Muhammad, I was sent by Allah, commanded to be under your commandments, and if you would love, I will bring the two mountains, in Mecca. There's two mountains, it's the names of the two mountains, Jabal Abi Qubais and another. It's a two big mountains, around Mecca. He said, if you love, I will smash the people of Mecca by the two mountains like this. I will smash them. Wallahi, if I were him, I think I will not hesitate 1 second. Can you imagine? The mightiest power in the universe has sent his power to you, giving you an open check. Just take the decision you want. And if you decided to punish them, no one will blame you. Wallahi, it's amazing. No one will blame you. His reaction, Muhammad was, قال لا ولكن ادعوا الله لهم أن يهديهم لعل الله يخرج من أصلابهم من ينصر هذا الدين. He said, thank you, no. I will not make dua against them. I will not destroy them. I will not take revenge from them. But please just make dua for them so that Allah might bring out from their offspring some people who will make da'wah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's an amazing. Guess who was living amongst them at that time? the biggest narrator in Islam, Abu Hurairah. Abu Hurairah from that area. Can you imagine? This is the core idea of Qissat what? AlTaif. So if we have like a big three areas where he went there, he was hurt, kicked out in a very tough way. Then he made that very beautiful dua. Allahumma ilayka ashku da'fa quwwati wa qillata hilati wa hawani ala an-nas anta rabbul mustad'afin wa anta rabbi. He was, asking Allah in a very humble way. Then we have the reaction towards the angel, Archangel Jibreel alayhi salam, and the Malak al-Jibal, and how the mercy and the love and the amazing mercy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was holding in his heart towards the people of Mecca, who were the root cause for kicking him out and to be hurt in this way with this dua. Now, just to give you parts of the text, I will read what I have already explained, then I will finish the lesson, inshallah, bi'idhnillah. Because next time, if Allah will, inshallah, bi'idhnillah, we stayed alive, we will start talk about Rihlat al-Isra wal-Mi'raj. Subhanallah, the journey of the Isra and the ascension to the heavens, from the authentic things, what happened from Muhammad sallam, what is the wisdom behind it, what kind of benefits we can have from this. قال اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد قال فرفعت رأسي, I just lost my control at a certain place. I just raised up my head فإذا أنا بسحابة قد أظلتني. There is a cloud that is covering me. قال فنظرت فإذا فيها جبريل. I saw Jibreel inside of this cloud. فقال إن الله عز وجل قد سمع قول قومك لك. Allah has heard what your people is saying to you, what happened to you. قال قد بعث إليك ملك الجبال لتأمره بما شئت. And he has sent the angel of mountains to command him in whatever you would love to command. قال فناداني ملك الجبال وسلم علي ثم قال. So he called me, the angel of mountains, and he said the salam for me. I say, Ya Muhammad, إن الله قد سمع قول قومك. Allah has heard what they have said to you. وأنا ملك الجبال وقد بعثني ربك إليك لتأمرني بأمرك. I am the angel of the mountains, and I was sent by your Lord so that you command me in whatever you want to command. قال فما شئت إن شئت أن أطبق عليهم الأخشبين. Which means if you want, I will smash them with the two mountains. This is the core idea of, and of course here I have 3 full pages in with the font size of maybe 11, which if I read them it could take me this lesson 3 sessions. So I gave you the core idea of the whole story of AlTaif. When you remember it, please remember the following lessons. Number 1, the fact that you are doing the good, saying the truth, does not mean everyone from the other side will be welcoming. Don't relate these two things together. I'm doing right, Allah knows that I'm a good person, by default people will be happy and welcoming me. No. You will have evil people, bad people. This is the nature of life. Number 1. Number 2, as a da'iyah, please do your best to follow the footsteps of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ by having the highest level of possible mercy in your heart. When someone deals in a bad attitude with you, don't make a bad reaction. As I know, we are human beings. I know we can't control ourselves 100% all the time. But please, the role model is Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. He was bleeding, he was insulted, he was cursed. Yet his dua was focusing on whether he is insured, and when he was given the opportunity, he was making dua for them. Another lesson, please, when you face sorry. Oh, لا كان طافي على فكرة هذا.
هذا طافي كمان.
والله؟
يا هذا مطفي.
طب تضغطوا معلش كمان مرة، شوف جرب بلكي بياخد له ثواني وحناخدها منك بالأخير شكله. شغال؟
يا شغال.
طيب خلينا نكمل كمان دقيقة just few minutes ونخلص. طيب شكل الصوت كان رايح. طيب أقول لك أبو عمر معلش بعد إذنك بس تشيل السماعة. خلاص خليها أخذ وتقرب لي الموبايل معلش. نلغي السماعة تماما بعد إذنك. الله يكرمك. شكرا جزيلا. وبناخذ المادة منك ها؟ إن شاء الله. الله يسعدك. شكرا. أحسن. We just a few minutes left. What I was saying. Third lesson. Yes. The third lesson. What was the third lesson? Sorry. I finished the lesson regarding to make dua for them. Now the next lesson, do your best when you face a problem in your life as a da'iyah, okay? To focus on your shortcomings, not on the mistakes of others. Yani, I know as we are human beings, we do face troubles. Don't always look, Ya Allah, how to blame others. Just between you and Allah, try to focus on what have I done in the relation between me and Allah. Try to fix this first, then no problem to ask the support from Allah against others if they are hurting you. If you can't make, by the way, it's not haram to make dua against someone who's doing dhulm for you. It's not haram. I'm not saying you should be all the time just, everyone should do anything against you. And no, I'm not saying that. I'm speaking in a special context. I'm not speaking about dhulm now. I'm speaking about rejection by the people who won't listen to you. Okay? They hate what you have simply because of ignorance or because they were brainwashed. So you need to have high level of patience because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to us, وَإِنْ أَحَدٌ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ اسْتَجَارَكَ فَأَجِرْهُ حَتَّى يَسْمَعَ كَلَامَ اللَّهِ ثُمَّ أَبْلِغْهُ مَأْمَنَهُ ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّهُمْ قَوْمٌ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Imagine in the context of the battlefield while war is going on. If a non-believer from those who are fighting you, can you imagine? He just said, I want to listen to your message. You are commanded by Allah to give him the security that he will not be hurt, and you give him a space and to let him hear the word of Allah and answer his question. When he is finished, قال ثم أبلغه مأمنه. Give him like a secured place to protect himself, then go again to the war, and he might be killed next time, or he kills you. Yet you are commanded to give him full protection to listen to the haqq. Why? قال ذلك بأنهم قوم لا, because they don't know. So the context of da'wah, you should be expecting that normally most of the people, they don't know. It's not just they don't know, actually they are brainwashed against you. So if you don't have patience, you don't have mercy, sympathy, okay, to try to fill the gap of the misunderstanding, everything will be against Islam. This is apart from an enemy is trying to do injustice for you and attacking you. No, go use all legal ways to protect yourself and take him to the court and try to defend and try to punish him legally in a legal way without hurting anyone. No problem. This is another thing. I'm speaking in the context of da'wah. Okay, for anyone. You will be rejected, yes. Some people might make fun of you, yes. But steadfast, be proud of what you have, give a smile, be patient, do your best, try to make benefit of any opportunity. To a degree, wallahi, and let me finish by this story. And this story happened, subhanallah, the core point of the story happened many times. But today's story, I just was listening. It happened in Saudi Arabia, I think in Riyadh. They told that in one of the areas, there was a great palace for someone who is like a multimillionaire. But he does not like practicing Muslims. He's a Saudi brother from Riyadh, but he does not love the people of the masjid. So it happened that next to him, a group of people, they took the permission, the license to build a masjid. He used to hate the Musallin. He does not like masjid. He does not like the Muslim, anything. So he did his best to reject in the city against the license. He could not. So all the time he's complaining, to the city, to the police, for anything. He wants just to let them out. So he hates them. Now they finished building everything in the masjid. They were about you want to put the carpet like ours. So they calculated how much they need. They say 160,000 riyals. So they made it like, portions. They said each one of us, let's say شو معنى وزعوها أسهم شو معناتها؟ يعني كل واحد له حصة يروح يجمعها. Shares. Okay, جزاك الله خير. So they distributed like shares. For example, everyone will take, for example, 10 shares. You bring 10,000 riyal. I bring 10,000 from my relatives. You bring 10,000 and we take them. So one of them, he said, I will take 2 shares, which means 20,000 riyals. They were spread, everyone, to go one of the rich people. This brother from the masjid, he said, I will go to the person of the palace next to us. They say, are you crazy? He hates us. He will kick you out. He will attack you. Don't ever. He said, no. Wallah, it's for the sake of Allah. I will do my best. Maybe Allah will give him the azr. He does not pray. And he hates the musallin. But he is the neighbor of the masjid. He went to him. He asked the servant, I said, can I speak? Yes, he came. What do you want? I am from your neighbors. Okay. What do you want? He said, the masjid al-Kaaba, he said, okay, open your hand. He thought that he would give him money. When he opened his hand, he came and said, like this, and he spat in his hand. He went like this, okay, take it. Yalla, go. Can you imagine? This is what he did. Look what the brother did. He took this spat and he closed it like this. He said, okay, this is for me. Now I need the money for Allah. This is for me. This spat is for me. I accept it. Thank you. Jazakallah khair. I need you to support the masjid of Allah now. What you will give me for Allah? The other one, he was just freezed. He could not utter one single word. He kept silent for, let's say, 1-2 minutes, not able to understand what happens. He said, how much do you want? He said, actually, I need 20,000. He said, what is the total amount? He said, 160. He went and gave him 160. And he became from the best musallin in the masjid. Now, the core point, imagine, wallahi, I mean, be honest, imagine someone spit in your face and say, okay, this is for me, what is for Allah? Oh my God. And by the way, this used to happen many times with the people of the Tablighi Jama'at al-Da'wah. It's very, very well known with them. They used to go speak with the drunk people in nightclubs. They speak like this in their faces. They say, okay, thank you, Jazakallah khair. Wallah, I'm very happy that part of the blessed, part of my brother is in my face. But please, come with me to the masjid. They became crazy. Say, what kind of people you are? Because simply they went for the sake of Allah. I mean, the ego is not working now. Personal ego. It's not there. I'm not saying they don't feel angry. No. They are controlling their anger for the sake of Allah. This is the point, by the way. Don't think that these people, they don't feel. They do. It's like, by the way, anyone of you who would love to respect Allah's commandments with his parents. Now, practically, is it true that every mom and dad are angels? I'm asking. No. It's a very difficult question now, okay? If we have kids with parents, please close your eyes. Okay, kids, answer very quickly. The answer definitely is no. Not every mom and dad is an angel. Is it true that some of the parents, some of them really are tough and bad and they do injustice? Yes. But what is the Islamic teachings with this regard? وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا and وَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفٍّ فَلَا تَقُلْ وَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفٍّ وَلَا تَنْهَرْهُمَا and وَإِنْ جَاهَدَاكَ عَلَىٰ أَنْ تُشْرِكَ بِي, which means it's amazing. You can't imagine. If they were tough, bad, attacking you, non-believers, making fun of your faith, attacking your faith, doing their best to make you a kafir, you have no right to be bad or tough with them, and you must respect them and be nice with them. If you are a normal human being inside, do you feel angry or not? Can you imagine your father is insulting Allah in your face? Or saying bad things against Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Is it easy? It's not easy. You feel bad. You have anger. But as a true da'iyah, for the sake of Allah, you will control yourself by patience for the sake of Allah. It's not that you don't feel. You feel, but you control for the sake of Allah. Is this true or not? This is the reality. This is the difference between someone who decided to submit himself to Allah and someone else who decided to submit himself to the God of his personal self. أَفَرَأَيْتُمْ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ, which means my ego is the priority. Anyone, and I met people from this kind, they say, Wallahi, I don't care. Father, mother, karamti awalan. If he said one word, Wallahi, I will show him. طيب حبيبي ماشي, okay, do it. But especially the Arabs, I say, I wish if you use the same attitude with the mukhabarat in your country. Arnab. Yes. He does not dare to use the same attitude with the intelligent forces. But with his parents, karamti awalan. Hypocrites. Wallahi, coward hypocrites. Anyway, this is the lessons. If you have a question, for me I finished today's lesson. Next time, inshallah, we'll start doing Isra al-Mi'raj. On the journey of AlTaif, do you have any question? تفضل.
قلت أطبق عليهم الأخشبين.
أخشبين.
قلت إنه يقصد أهل مكة ولا
يس أهل مكة يعني.
فلما دعا إنه لا يخرج من أصلابه
نعم.
على أهل الطائف
نعم.
ولا لأهل مكة؟
لأهل مكة. بس أنا طبعا جزاك الله خير فعلا يعني أنا لا معك حق فعلا الله يجزيك الخير. هو أبو هريرة كان من جماعة الطائف مش من أهل الطائف. هذا يمكن خطأ مني فعلا الله يجزيك الخير. هي يمكن الايديا ممكن ناخذها بالتوسع. انا خطأ مني فعلا. انا كان استخدمت المعنى او وكأنه الاخشبين على اهل الطائف. لا هي على اهل مكة والاخشبين من اهل مكة. والدعاء ان دعا هو مطرود من الطائف. كان عم بينطرد من الطائف. والدعاء هو ما لما دعا كان فوكس
من أصلابه.
انت تقصد للملك.
نعم.
على اهل مكة. نعم على اهل مكة. نعم صدقت الله يجزيك الخير. وهذا خطأ مني فعلا. أنا I mixed the 2 points together. You know, the father he paid my attention to something, and the angel when he asked to take his permission to destroy, he was talking about the people of Mecca. So and when he said make dua for them, he was talking about the people of Mecca. When I gave you one of the things that came to mind, I told you that Abu Hurairah was from the people of AlTaif. So I made a mistake. I mixed between the Mecca and AlTaif, which is a mistake from me, and I'm sorry for that. Jazakallah khair for paying my attention. You know, because I was explaining the AlTaif, I was under the impression that still I'm speaking about the Taif. That's why I missed the point. Jazakallah khair. Thank you very much. MashaAllah. This is good. The fact that you are focusing on what I'm saying. جزاك الله خير بارك الله فيك. طيب يعطيكم العافية. See you next week إن شاء الله. طبعا tomorrow في تفسير إن شاء الله. السلام عليكم.